Welcome back to Alcohol on the Internet. Okay, so tonight's video is by WatchMojo UK. And it's called Top 10 Times... it's called 10 Times Boris Johnson Pissed Off Everyone. When is he not pissing off people? But honestly, which one would you rather put up with? Trump or Boris Johnson? It's like choosing what would you rather? Would you rather your friend keep on fucking all your exes, or your friend constantly trying to sleep with your family members? Which one's the better one out of the two? Pick your poison. Which poison goes down more smoother? Fucking hell, man. But yeah, in regards to Boris Johnson, I'm still not over Partygate. So while we're out here in lockdown, social distancing, how these restrictions on that and the third, these are up high in at number 10. The fuck? You make your own rules and you're breaking your own rules. It's like constantly going on about friend code when you're constantly breaking it. Get the fuck out of here. Anyways, enough talking. Without further ado, I'm about to get into his reaction. Hopefully this thing will not overheat.
We're counting down our picks for the top 10 times Boris Johnson pissed off everyone.
I accept that my remarks could have been clearer in that respect, and I'm glad to provide this clarification.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day,
Get out
so
the
be sure
fucking
to
violin.
subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at 10 of the biggest times Boris got on the wrong side of the public, though there are a lot more than 10. Let us know in the comments what you think is the
They should have made it a top 20. But then if they did that, I would not be filming this.
Number 10, water cannons. During his messy tenure as the Mayor of London, one of the biggest controversies Boris had to contend with was his purchase of 3 water cannons for over £320,000.
So that's why they came back to us and said, do you want water cannon? I don't want water cannon ever used on the streets of anywhere in this country.
The water cannons were intended to be used as crowd control against the people of London if civil unrest began. But Boris's fellow Tories didn't see the value in the purchase.
I've heard what the Home Secretary has had to say today, and obviously
That's funny.
I respect the care and the thoroughness with which she's taken her decision.
Theresa May, serving as David Cameron's Home Secretary at the time, banned the water
I haven't
cannons
had that name in
from use
ages.
after they'd been
Theresa
purchased,
May.
leaving Boris with egg on his face.
You're going to keep these water cannon anyway, and the police are going to train with them just in case they can use them at some stage in the future. Is that what you're saying?
That is the plan, yes.
He
Clown.
was later voted out of office in
Clown.
favour of Sadiq Khan, who ultimately sold the cannons for scrap after no credible buyers for them emerged. Number 9, wallpaper. Dubbed Wallpapergate by some outlets,
Wallpapergate?
this was the biggest controversy to arise from Boris and then fiancée Carrie Symonds' costly Downing Street renovations.
Among the barrage of claims, Mr. Cummings has entered a row over how Boris Johnson and his partner Carrie Symonds spent tens of thousands of pounds on lavish renovations of their Downing Street flat.
Apparently, the wallpaper used to refurbish his Whitehall residence was gold and cost £840 per roll. Worse, a few weeks on, and it emerged the costly wallpaper was constantly falling down and needed to be put back up by specialist decorators.
Mr. Cummings wrote,
Idiot.
"I told
Idiot.
you I thought his plans to have donors secretly pay for the renovation were unethical, foolish, possibly illegal."
The total refurbishment cost a pricely £88,000, though parliamentary standards never investigated exactly where the money came from.
Yeah, I want to know where that money came from.
Female presenters
Seriously.
don't stand like this.
I'm only better have gone towards that
If you're
thing.
a female, the natural tendency is...
Estimated sum had been much higher, however, close to £200,000.
Mr. Johnson has now paid the bill himself. number 10, so he stuck to the rules.
Number 8, letterboxes.
Do you feel bad about it? You didn't even feel bad about it.
I felt it was.
Who could forget these notorious remarks he made about Muslim women in 2018 in his column for the Telegraph?
Oh, yeah.
He said that Muslim women in burqas and niqabs looked like letterboxes and bank robbers, causing massive controversy at the time.
I'd be
and
pissed
the
too.
years since.
It's not the right language, though, is it? It's not really prime ministerial language, is it?
More than once, his fellow MPs on both sides of Parliament demanded he apologise, including
Yeah, he should.
Labour MP Tanmanjit Singh Desi and Prime Minister at the time, Theresa May.
Because sometimes there is an element.
Apologise for calling, describing women wearing bugs as bank robbers and letterboxes. You've now under investigation. Will you apologise for that, or do you think that is okay?
It took until 2021 for Boris to finally get the message and apologise. And many viewed his comments as emblematic of Islamophobia in the Tory party.
Yeah.
Number 7, Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe.
My point was that I disagreed with the Iranian view that training journalists was a crime. Not that I wanted to lend any
These are
credence
such
to
ignorant
Iranian
comments I cannot.
allegations.
British-Iranian dual citizen Nazanin
Going to
Zaghari-Ratcliffe
letterboxes, what
was
the
detained
fuck?
in prison in Iran for 6 years between 2016 and 2022. Though, as of March 2022, she was finally returned home to the UK. However, during her already traumatic detention, for reasons which have never been made clear, Boris Johnson, as Foreign Secretary in 2017, made remarks that she had been training journalists. This led to even more mistreatment against Zaghari-Ratcliffe by the Iranian authorities.
She
Fucking hell,
said to me, I
dude.
just want you to know that the mistake, the comments in 2017 had a lasting impact.
Her return to the UK was massively dragged out, with Boris arguably to blame, and it wasn't until a £300 million debt was paid to Iran that she was able to come back to Britain.
I just want to say, promise, it took 6 years. It
That's
didn't need to have
crazy.
taken 6 years. And
6 years.
Why did it take so long? And
That's
you
crazy.
talked through some of the complications and some of the attempts they'd made.
Number 6, punishment beatings. In early 2017, Boris Johnson, still working as Foreign Secretary for Theresa May, made some baffling comments comparing the European Union to Nazi Germany.
Good evening. Boris Johnson, the Foreign Secretary, has been criticised for his...
These don't need to think before they talk, and they don't.
...to the Nazis.
He asked that the EU not give the UK punishment beatings like in some World War II movie in retaliation for Brexit. A truly absurd thing to say.
It was your
Nah.
to administer
You ain't shit for that, Boris.
to anybody who chooses to escape, rather in the manner of some sort of World War II movie, then I don't think that is the way forward.
Some other senior Tories were behind him, however, including Michael Gove, while Labour used it as another opportunity to hit Boris's penchant for glib comments. Regardless, we don't think comparing the Brexit to the Great Escape helped the years-long negotiations.
Point you
No.
made was a reasonable one.
Clearly
The
not.
language has got to be extremely careful in dealing with colleagues and friends.
Number 5, bodies.
The guy who
Now,
chooses
to be
those really
clear, there's still
real
no
wisely, and
proof
he
that the
just
Prime
doesn't.
Minister
He doesn't.
actually said this, as it was something claimed by Dominic Cummings after he was forced to resign.
But Boris Johnson has emphatically said he didn't say it, and really the only thing that could trump that is an audio tape.
Cummings could have absolutely lied to smear Boris, but equally, who wouldn't be surprised if these comments rang true? Allegedly, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Boris said he wanted to, quote, let the bodies pile high instead of imposing another lockdown.
The Prime Minister was also facing allegations that after agreeing the second lockdown last autumn,
Get in
he
the bin.
said he
Get
would
in the bin.
rather see the bodies pile high in their thousands than impose a third lockdown.
Nobody enjoyed the lockdowns, but they
Didn't the guy catch
enjoyed
COVID twice?
seeing hundreds of thousands of people die even less. Whether he said it or not, it still tarred his reputation forever.
The idea that he would say any such thing, I find incredible. I was in that room. I never heard language of that kind.
Number 4, remarks about the DRC.
Not only is the member racist, he is stoking division in communities and has a record of dishonesty.
These absolutely hideous remarks were made by Boris Johnson in 2002. Again,
Oh, wow.
in his Telegraph column,
Your past come out to bite you in the ass, Boris.
By then PM Tony Blair to the Democratic Republic of the Congo. He called the citizens of the Congo Blair was visiting by a deeply offensive slur, as well as saying they had, quote, watermelon smiles.
The member has called Muslim women letterboxes.
This man.
African people as having watermelon smiles. And
Watermelon smiles.
that I would never dignify.
Is this guy out of his fucking mind?
Widely decried as being deeply racist at the time, it still took him 6 years to say sorry, though he still said it was taken out of context.
This is nothing new. People do take things out of context.
Don't try and justify it. Apologize. Don't try and excuse
That
it.
wasn't the only offensive thing he said about Africa, however, as he once referred to the entire continent, the second largest in the world, as, quote, that country. Number 3, £350 million a week. As one of the biggest supporters of the Leave campaign, Boris was seen many times to be endorsing this figure, which could now be seen as one of the most notorious lies ever told in British politics.
Suggestion, as you can see, is that we send £350 million a week to the EU, which could be spent on the NHS.
He was even photographed in front of that bus, alleging that we sent £350 million to the EU a
They
week,
go down.
and that by leaving, we'd be able to give it to the NHS instead. It's an appealing figure, if it was even remotely based in reality.
Let's deal with your
And it was not based in reality.
We sent 350 million to Europe. We don't. And you know we don't. No, we don't.
The real membership cost is £161 million per week, but in the years since Brexit, that money certainly hasn't materialised anywhere near the NHS, which remains underfunded. And in 2019, he was taken to court for the lie.
Good. Take his ass to court.
You know this one is ludicrous. First of all,
Is HelloFresh worth the price? Absolutely. In the beginning, I was doubtful too. Until I realised I was actually...
Idiot.
is wrong. And secondly, well, even Norway, which is out, has to make a contribution.
Number 2, Chris Pincher.
The wrong thing to do. I apologise to everybody who's been badly affected by it.
This was the final nail in the coffin of Boris's increasingly troubled premiership. Pincher, a Tory whip, had already been made to quit once in 2017 for allegations of misconduct. He was then appointed Deputy Chief Whip in February of 2022, but by June he had been accused of groping 2 men.
Did you want to joke though, Pincher by name, Pincher by nature?
Pincher resigned, and spokespeople for the PM continually asserted that Boris hadn't known about any of this when he'd been appointed to the Whip's office. A barrage of allegations against Pincher, the Pincher flooded in,
Pincher the
and
Pincher.
it emerged that Boris did know about it all beforehand. He said he'd forgotten, but it triggered a mass resignation from ministers never before seen. Roughly 60 resigned in early July, followed by the
Don't try and use that I
themselves.
forgot line. That shit don't work.
The will of the
Boris.
Parliamentary Conservative Party.
You should know this by now.
That there should be a new leader of that party and therefore a new Prime Minister.
Number 1, Partygate.
Here we go. Partygate.
You told the British people again and again that no rules were broken.
Not the only scandal to affect Boris's time in Downing Street, but Partygate certainly began the downward spiral that led to his resignation.
This is
It
the
came
icing
out in
on the
January
cake.
2022 that there had been numerous parties held in Downing Street throughout the pandemic and during lockdown, including the day before the funeral of His Royal Highness Prince Philip.
Sue Gray said the culture that allowed these
The day
parties
before.
came from the top, official and political.
We are humbled
Humble
by the
my ass.
experience, and we have learned our lesson.
There was an official inquiry led by Sue Gray and an investigation from the Met, which fined over 100 people, including the Prime Minister.
Sue Gray published some pictures of the Prime Minister at the birthday gathering, for which he got a fixed penalty notice.
His constant proven lies about holding parties while people died unable to see their loved ones damaged his reputation
That
irreparably,
was insane.
even among his own party. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other...
Based off Partygate and getting the bin, right? You telling us to stay at home, not to socialise, this, that, and third, but yet you lot were out here partying in Downing Street. A bunch of you, where we couldn't see our loved ones. What a piss take. Like, actual piss take. And I'm like, seriously, I'm gonna jump into the comments. Like, didn't he resign now? Yeah. Better late than ever. Ugh. Okay, I'm just jumping into the comments now, right now. Okay, it must have been hard to choose the worst 10 out of over 32,498 times he's annoyed us. He annoys everybody. Still over that one we just started talking about Peppa Pig in front of the nation. I'm done. I can't with this man. It's remarkable that he even lasted this long as Prime Minister, or even how he ended up replacing Theresa May in the first place. Yeah, Wonga says, if some of the people who voted could foresee what would have happened down the line, they probably not voted for this guy. That's for sure. Not everyone is annoyed, as so many people still think he's wonderful and can't see what he did wrong. Yeah, some people just kind of, I don't want to say, people are just gonna have their opinions. Just don't shove your opinions down my throat. That's just it. Only 10. I demand part 2 and 3. Me too. As long as they're not too long. I don't want to be sat here for like half an hour. Our worst MP ever, and it takes some doing. Yeah. Obvious that Boris Johnson and Donald Trump are two of a kind. I could tolerate Boris Johnson. Trump just irritates me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if I had to choose which one I had to put up with, would I rather Boris Johnson or Donald Trump? I'd rather pick Boris Johnson. Only by a mere landslide. It's like picking your poison. Which poison goes down better? Like, if you're gonna take me out painlessly. I think Boris Johnson was trying to be a good man, however, his true nature prevented him from being one. Born a racist, always a racist. Yeah, I'm liking that comment right now. I can't believe you compared the women wearing those burqas to letterboxes. I'm done. So these people do not even hear themselves before they even say what they say. Seriously, I'm talking about the public figures, right? I'm not talking about the mere common folk like me. But yeah, and I had that about to wash away all my sins over the last year. Okay, so that's it for this video. Like, subscribe if you want. I post if I feel like getting. I'll see you next one. Bye. Get my ass out of this car.